Today we're going to be installing an ABS guard kit. So this is very simple. It's basically remove the factory bolts holding the ABS sensor, use a longer supplied bolt, add the guard, and tighten it down. So I have seen a ABS sensor break on the trail, and it causes all kinds of warning lights on the dash. You can't use your locker anymore. If your vehicle has multi-terrain selection, it doesn't work. So for about 65 bucks, I ordered this kit that has 4 with the bolts, and we're going to just give us that much more protection off-road. Some people think it's silly. I've seen it happen in the field on just backing up over a rock. A twig came up, broke the sensor. The sensor costs, over $100 each. And if it goes bad, you're kind of stuck. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the truck. I feel like it's going to be a worthwhile mod. Right here we have the sensor, and this is where the guard is going to go. So very simple. We do have a 10mm on hand, so we could pop this off. And you don't need to remove the sensor, you're just taking off the bolt. So with the bolt removed, we're going to see which one of these we need to use based off the length. So I chose the shorter version that comes in the pack that is going to be pretty spot on to what we need. And we're just going to thread it in. I chose black on these. I felt like it was a cleaner option, but you can choose whichever color you like. I'll link them in the description below. And also there are other brands that sell very similar guards, so you don't have to buy these ones, but the install will be the same. Well, I jinxed myself and said that this was going to be a really quick install, but if you look at the sensor on my top right, you see how it's got the little divot? That is, from what I can gather, for that wire harness to sit in. Now, it wasn't sitting nice in here, so I went and I notched it, so that way when I bolted it up, there's plenty of room for that wire. Otherwise, if you just used the guard the way that it comes in, it butts up against the wire, and I do not want that because that will chafe and eventually cut. If I somehow put it up so it sits in there, the guard is no longer straight, it's tilted up quite a bit, and these edges are sharp, so at some point it's going to wear into that. So take the extra time if your guard is touching or close to the wire, and just give it the clearance ahead of time. It only took me a few minutes in a grinder, but for now we're going to get this guy bolted up for the last time, and we'll jump onto the rear. So working on the driver's side, we're going to be popping this one off. So if you look, you can see the rears have a stud, which just came out with this nut. So that totally made my life a lot easier because I don't need to pull that stud out, it just came out. Now we're going to be putting in the sensor guard with the longer bolt. And we'll see if this one needs to be modified in any way. I don't know if this bolt is too long, but it's the shortest one in the pack. Oh no, it's perfect. Okay, so I can see right here there's a little bit of contact, so we will be cutting this one. And it looks like I actually have to cut maybe even a bigger portion. So let me pop this off, get it trimmed down, and I'll show you a comparison between one I cut and one that I haven't cut, so you can see what you need to do on yours. In my right hand right here, we have the modified one. In my left hand, you can see the unmodified. So what we're doing here is creating a space for the wire harness so that nothing is touching. This is meant to protect the sensor and the plug, so we don't have to worry about taking this out. We're not losing any protection by modifying this. I'm just making this at least more durable and longevity wise for this cable to not be chafing on anything, because originally we just had one bolt, so nothing was touching it, and I want the same to apply even with this guard on. So let's get this thing bolted up. And here we have a better view of how it's protecting everything. You can see front and back. Now all we have to do is basically rinse and repeat the install on the passenger side. This is not a hard install. It is great to have extra protection. Everyone's going to have their own opinion on this mod. I believe in it. I've seen an ABS sensor get broken out on the trail, and I know what it does. So for 65 bucks or however much the sensor guard is that you choose, it is well worth it in my opinion.